whoever you are listening to this, regardless of what religion, background, ethnicity, in our context, I think there's something we can all agree on, is that from the river to the sea, we all need therapy. And our guest today is all about that. Healing, going from a sense of guilt to responsibility. And before we introduce her, in this intro, she's going to guide us for a few breaths, and then we'll move on to the episode.
We can start by closing our eyes if it's safe for you, not driving. And we start to breathe. Inhale from the nose. Exhale from the mouth. Inhale. Exhale. One last time. Inhale. Exhale. And release everything that you don't need for listening for this episode. You can open your eyes and start listening.
Okay, I'm your host Amira.
And I'm your host Ibrahim.
And this is UTTN, the podcast.
أهلا وسهلا نمالا. شكرا لك إنك أجيتي. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. أهلا وسهلا فيكم. Oh, thank you for hosting me.
We're hosting you on the podcast, but you're hosting us in the space.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to mention to all our audience that if you notice, we are not in our space, that we have a few episodes that we're doing. And as we said, we want to focus our attention on peace activists, primarily Palestinian and women activists. But in order to speak to the majority of our Palestinian activists who are living in the West Bank, they're unable to travel. They're unable to come to our studio in Nazareth. So we're making the effort, we're making the step to come to them, to speak to the activists where they live. So today we are at Beit Jala in the Combatants for Peace office. Would you like to tell us a couple of words about the Combatants for Peace? And I have to say that we're very grateful for offering us a space.
Yeah. I just want to mention something for you. I think you know I can move, because I have Jerusalem ID, so I can move. But Amira agreed that we will meet here. So it's Combatants for Peace office. It is the Palestinian office, the Palestinian team where we work here. Combatants for Peace established in 2006, where a group of Palestinian fighters and army combatants, I don't know how they call it, they start to meet.
Israeli army combatants.
Yeah. They start to meet, and then after meetings, they decided to create something called Combatants for Peace. So who have tried the military way, like for Palestinian military resistance and Israeli to be in the army. And then they decided this is not the way. So they create Combatants for Peace.
We're going to talk about it more in the second segment, but since we're in the way of shouting out people and giving thanks, I think we should also give big thanks to Beit of Hope for sponsoring this episode. Beit of Hope is a Swiss nonprofit that supports Palestinian and Israeli organizations and activists here. So really thankful also for them for sponsoring this episode. We're gonna we always jump right into it because we like to talk about the segments. Usually we want to keep them short, but they end up becoming long. The first segment is basically where we ask our guests. We ask them, "Who are you?" Simple question, but it can be a conversation forever. So the way that we will ask, we'll ask you 3 times. who are you? And you answer with only one word. And then we talk about it. So now I'm going to ask you, Nimala, 3 times, but one by one. Who are you? If you were to choose one word.
Nimala.
Okay. And I ask you again, who are you?
Human being.
Okay. And one last time, who's Nimala?
Palestinian.
Okay. So we know that you're way more than that. And these are just 3 things. But now we're going to talk about it. And whatever comes up, you can mention either things that aren't in these 3 words or decide to focus and go specific. So what is behind you saying Nimala? Because it's also not a common name.
I was going to say, can we start with asking, what does Nimala mean?
Yeah. It's a process to be in love with my name. When I was a kid, I didn't like it. And then when I grow up, I got to know the name was a guidance for my life now. So Nimala, it's an Indian name. It's not Arabic. My mom gave it to me. Her friend or classmate was having this name, Nimala. She's Palestinian living in the old city. Her father is Palestinian. Her mom is Indian. So she liked it. And once she get married, I was born, she gave me the name. And it was really not common at all during my time when I was a kid, because all the names were, Arab names, not even internationals in the 80s. So I didn't like it, and I was, I need to repeat it many times that the teacher can repeat it right. My classmates, sometimes they said, Nimala Namle, it means the ant. So sometimes even in Hebrew, it's Limala, Limata. So they really didn't get it. So it was not easy to be Nimala. And it started with the letter N. So usually in the class, when we have exam, especially not written exam, we need to say
it's like dictation or something.
Yeah.
Not dictation. It's
how
like
you call it? شفوي.
like it's like word of mouth. Like you need
word
to,
of mouth. You need to say something.
Yeah, you
and
have
then,
an oral exam, basically.
Yeah, and we are like more than maybe 20, 25 in the class. So my noon, letter N, it's in the last letters in the Arabic alphabet. So usually I need to hold another day for my exam. So
it was a blessing.
Yeah,
I was always the first one in my class.
Like I want to finish, and I don't want to keep it for the next day. The stress of the exams.
I was always the first. Ibrahim Abu Ahmed. A and B after. So like, I'm always the first one on the roster in my class wherever I went.
Yeah, the name of the meaning of my this is where I really connect my name, and I fall in love with it when I understood that the meaning of my name is the lotus flower. Wow. So the lotus flower it comes from the mud. Usually not clear water, not clear mud. And once it's up and the sun kiss it, so it open, it bloom. So this is, I see, it's like connected to my life and the mission of my life. Where there is mud, there is lotus as well.
Wow.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful.
So I like my name now. And I'm connected to the name.
Do you like your name?
Amira?
Did you always like your name?
No.
I never asked her that question. You're the one who brings this topic up.
Actually, she brings it up because we'll talk about the work, but I always, when I give a storytelling workshop, I ask the students, tell me the story of your name.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And in the break, all of them like were calling their mama, why did you call me X, Y, and Z? And those that understood that the father had an ex-lover that had the same name.
Oh
like
my God.
so much family gossip. I wasn't supposed to be called Amira. I was supposed to be called Amiral.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, and I have like gold and jewelry that Amiral.
Never knew that.
Yeah, which means admiral, like a ranking in the army. So same idea.
Princess. Amira in English is princess.
I hated my name because like my mom's name is Malake and my brother's name is Amir.
It's a true story.
So
Can you tell our audience what that means?
Oh, Malake means queen and Amir means prince and Amira means princess. So I found it to be super cheesy.
I mean, it is.
It is super cheesy.
But it's really very
The
cute.
kingdom.
But it's super cute.
It is kingdom.
Kingdom.
My mom would call herself like, I am the queen of this family, and this is like we're the small La'il al-Malika. We're the royal family. Do you like your name?
I also had a process of accepting my name. I didn't like it much when I was young, and it was super long, like Ibrahim, like it's so long, and it was hard when I went to the US for people to pronounce it. I'm like, why don't I have an international name? But then I learned to love my name and looked for meanings behind my name, because the real meaning is stupid. Just my dad, at the age of 14, in our culture, you just give somebody a nickname, Abu something, like the father of, when he was 14. He had no children or anything.
Oh, too young.
But at the age of 14, he was like, you're Abu Ibrahim. So he was just
Same.
called Abu Ibrahim forever. And when Ibrahim came, he became Ibrahim. So it was a given. But yeah, like I looked for the meaning, and I found, I don't think that's a real meaning. That goes back to like Prophet Abraham, because that's where the name is from.
Abu al-Anbiya.
Yeah, like the father of prophets, it translated to father of nations, which kind of connected to my life of like connecting different nations and people, and loving people as people and human beings, and different cultures, and embracing different identities and different people. So it kind of, the name does say something about you in a way, I feel like, even when you don't know it.
I understood also that in the culture of Indian, the lotus flower means the life. So sometimes when people, they really don't know how to pronounce my name, like Nimala, I said, okay, you can call me Haya, which life, which means life.
Yeah, it's the lotus is like existing in a lot of ancient cultures in Southeast Asia and in the Far East. Like it's in a lot of ancient stories and cultures. It has a lot of history behind it.
Yeah.
Which you said connecting nations, life, which connects also to your second word, which is human being.
Yeah.
Why did you? It seems obvious, but not everybody would choose it. Why would you choose it as your second word?
Especially then when you use the third word as Palestinian.
Yeah, I give it identity.
As like the smaller group, but the larger group, you saw yourself as what, part of humanity?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. To be a human being today is not easy. Like with all what we are going through, not only as Palestinian, but also as human beings, the humanity generally, it's not in a good condition. So we need a revolution to become human beings. Also with the technology and the life which become really in a fast rhythm, we forgot who we are. We are not that fast as the technology. So somehow we forgot how the human being should be. Like we are seeing each other behind the screens or the faces, the masks. We are not seeing like we can talk for hours on social media, but when it comes that we can sit together, we don't find anybody to sit with us. So I don't say that the technology is bad, no, but for the human beings, I think we are on the way to become robots, not humans.
Yeah. We now look more at our differences rather than our similarities.
Yeah. Yes.
And this new idea of this new world of nation state belonging to a small group, and it's only my group, and the outsiders are not part of who I am, and it's me versus others. That creates a division among human beings.
Everything now today is creating divisions. Like with all the identities that we have, we are creating divisions. But if we come and if we come to the heart, we are all one. We are all one. We are all the same. Oneness. There's no different. The different is like the opportunities that you get than the others. Like if you had better education, better passport to travel, to discover the life, of course, your life will be different than mine. So, yeah. And also, if I want to relate it to the third word, this is a struggle that every time we Palestinians need to prove that we are human beings. So, this is why I choose Palestinian, because to stop this genocide and the war against Palestinian, all the, in a way, ethnic cleansing to the existence of the Palestinian, it's not to create a war against the Israelis, but to create a human war, like to have humanity more.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how we can stop what is happening. And Palestinians now it's not only people who are living in the West Bank or Gaza, in East Jerusalem or in 48. No, I think it becomes like a global issue for justice, for freedom, for equal rights. And this is why I choose the third word, and I relate both of them.
I've heard many activists say, like activists that used to work on the climate crisis and activists that would work on children's rights, human rights, that have said that Palestine and the Palestinian cause has opened a lot of eyes on the connectedness of other issues, of the link between that we are all human. Just because of showing how dehumanization can lead at its like extremist form, which is genocide, how it leads to destruction of like killing of the environment, of like it's not just genocide, it's ecocide, it's like killing of human beings, killing culture, killing like so many things on and it affects everybody. We had in the first season talk with Maryam about
shout out to Maryam.
Yeah, she did research about before and after October 2023, how the environment and how everybody on this land, regardless if you're Israeli or Palestinian, underneath we share the same water, and the air, it's the same air. And when you, even though we can put like headphones and live far away and not hear the bombs, but the bombs get to us. Mm-hmm. So I resonate a lot with what you're saying. I like to like kind of like explain why we decided to use the three words. It's because if I came and I like read your bio, or Ibrahim like asked you to tell us who you are just one time, we always default to saying where we work, where we were born, or where we studied, and people already judge you on what you say. So it's the same thing. It's like, but we decide the boxes. Instead of the people deciding the boxes, here in this segment, you decide the boxes. But I would also like to know, you said, Ibrahim in the beginning said that like you could have come to Nazareth to record in our studio in Nazareth. Can you tell us a little bit about where you live, what your day-to-day, just very briefly?
Yeah. Yes. I live in Beit Jala in Jerusalem. I usually say that I come from a family who is politically separated with the identities. Me and my mom have Jerusalem ID, and my father and my siblings, they have Palestinian ID, the West Bank ID. So they cannot come to Jerusalem, but I can come to them. So here and there. Yani I'm here and I'm there in Jerusalem.
Can you tell us how that happened?
Yeah. It started when the year that I was born. They used to treat the Palestinian under the Jewish law, which is the baby related to the mother. And after a year, they changed that for the Palestinian. So the baby related to the father. My father from Beit Jala, my mom from Jerusalem. So, yeah, they registered me with my mom ID, and they registered the rest of my siblings with my father ID. But that time, that was in the 80s, there were like all the West Bank, all the land was, the West Bank, mainly Gaza, it was under the military administration, the Israeli military administration. So you can choose where to live. So I grew up in Beit Jala. Like the moment that we separate, when I become 16 and I don't have ID. And that was after Oslo Agreement, and the Palestinian Authority cannot give me ID because I have already number with my mom, which is Jerusalem I. So we moved and we rent a house in Jerusalem, and after a year with all the papers, water, electricity, school, Arnona, all the papers that improve that the center of my life in Jerusalem, they approve and they gave me ID. And,
wow.
After that, the second Intifada started and the separation become more in reality, like the checkpoints and the separation wall. So it become real separation.
It's important to note to our audience that when we're talking about the proof of what you said in terms of papers and documents and electricity and water, why is that important? Because as a Jerusalemite Palestinian, in order to have an ID, an Israeli ID, as a resident of Jerusalem, you have to have a proof that the center of your life is in Jerusalem. And this is why bills, water, electricity, etc. And if you don't, and if they're not convinced by your documents, or you don't have enough documents, they can, on a whim, decide to revoke your ID. And then you are actually stateless.
I mean, regardless,
and you're already stateless, but then you're
illegal.
Illegal.
With less rights. Yeah, you'll be illegal inside
because you cannot move anywhere.
Yeah.
Like today, they can, block this street where you came, both of you. So how you can, and if they checking the ID, you don't have ID,
you're stuck. Yeah, it's true.
But it's crazy. It's not just like in some of the episodes we talk about how like we're separated as like Palestinians from the inside, the 48, the 67 Jerusalemites, Gaza, West Bank, refugees, and diaspora. But even inside the one family, you have like separation, and it's not that. So when did your parents meet and they had different IDs? When your parents met, they had different IDs?
Yeah, but no one was like really taking care of this issue because, as I said, all the area was under the Israeli military administration. So it doesn't matter.
It didn't really matter, yeah.
It doesn't matter.
This
like
was
my
before
father,
the separation wall, all right?
Yeah, as I said, I grew up in Beit Jala, and my father was he drives me to the school in Jerusalem.
Okay.
You know, there were like not checkpoints.
Yeah, it was all one territory.
Yeah, it was like really, I lived the time that Israelis used to use the same streets that the Palestinians use, especially like the Hebron
Road, yeah.
Bethlehem, Shar al-Quds al-Khalil, Hebron Jerusalem Road, or Hebron Road. So there were it was not an issue to have different ID. Like my father was working, all the area here was under, as I said, the Israeli administration rules. They used to pay taxes, and there were not a problem.
I remember talking to my parents about this, as she's like, those were, even though it still wasn't normal times, my parents would say those were the times where my mom would go and study in Bethlehem, and there was no walls, and they would go, and like things that, like a drive that would take 10-15 minutes now takes hours, and you need to go all the way around. It was like a time that, I don't know if you have more of a visualization of it, but for me, I have no idea. Like, I don't know anything.
You know what? I do remember times that was exactly before the second Intifada. I used to study at Talita Kumi School. That was where I graduate. And we used to go to Jerusalem after school. So we used to take cars, like taxi, like with 7 seats, direct to Jerusalem. And they used to stop where today the Jerusalem buses stop in Bethlehem. And we used just to take it direct, no checkpoints, nothing. You don't have to have your ID, just to go to Jerusalem, walking around and come back to Beit Jala. Like, really was not a problem.
I think it shows our tragedy how, some people are looking at the times of military administration as the days, rather than when supposedly there was a bit more access to autonomy in terms of at least civil administration, but it makes your life worse. It's our tragedy, I swear. Like, if you want to put it in a nutshell,
I think the freedom of movement, to have the freedom to move from a city to a city, or to go like Haifa, Akko, or Jerusalem, or Jaffa, Yafa. So I think that is missing today. Like, I know you. I'm working with youth, by the way, so I know their stories, and I think, Amira, you heard some stories. They are in their 20s, maybe 19. They never ever reach Jaffa. They don't know what is Jaffa. They don't know what is Jerusalem. So that is the opposite of my childhood.
Yeah.
Like, we used to go everywhere.
Just one last thing before we conclude this segment. And I know you didn't bring it up, but you are our, and I hate to label things, but I do want to ask about it. You're our first Christian Palestinian guest. Yes. And I feel like that's a voice that the international community doesn't listen to a lot. And they keep on thinking that Palestine, Israel, it's Jews and Muslims. And they think it's a religious war.
Unfortunately,
and they also they think that what happens between Jews and Muslims around the world is the exact same thing, and we just need to like have interfaith, and we need to like the Jews and the Muslims need to like get along. And they don't know that a big like heart of the Palestinian peoplehood has a lot to do with the Palestinian Christians.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear whatever you want to like share about that, the part of you.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the problem, because everybody want to change the real conflict to a religious conflict, but it is not. It is not. Definitely, it is not. Yeah, I come from a Christian family. And, just 2 days ago, Netanyahu said something about Christians, that those people, like there were 80% of the population in Bethlehem, they were Christian, and when the Palestinian Authority came, they become 20. He used it. I don't know how to say it.
He weaponizes it.
Yes. Yeah, this is the word. Like I'm looking. And he used it in a wrongly. Yani, why you are saying about the Christians in Bethlehem, but Christians are everywhere. We have history in this land. And and the history that you can see, it's all related to Christianity. From Nazareth to Jerusalem to Tiberia to everywhere. Bethlehem, Jerusalem, it's all related to Christianity, Kufr Kannak, whatever. So if you want to say, if I want to claim that this conflict is religious, yeah, it is Christian, because it's a Christian conflict, but it is not. It is like, I do remember some stories from my grandmother. She's from Haifa originally, before 48, and in 48 they have to leave, and they have good schools there, and she used to speak 3 languages. She know how to do crochet, so they are elite. So there were Christians. I think the waves of Christians to leave the country, it started not only in 48 but before. So in that period, thousands of families they left, and then in 48 they left a lot. I don't know the percentage. I used to know it, but I don't have it now. Again, in 67, another wave of Christians they left. First Intifada as well. Second Intifada, a lot of people, especially in Bethlehem, they left. And the last 2 years, since 2023, when this started, like the genocide and the war started, more than 45 families left Bethlehem area.
Wallah.
Christians with their family, either to their relatives around, or some families they did refuge to Spain, other countries. So
there's a big percentage of Palestinians, if I'm not mistaken, and I'll correct myself in the description, I think one of the largest, if not the largest percentage of Palestinians in the diaspora, and I think their majority Christian, is in Chile.
Yes.
It's one of the highest.
Yeah.
And I think they're either the first family that went and started the business there and started the trend of people moving there was a Christian family.
Yeah, it's always a question why.
We'd like to take a moment to thank our Patreon community. Without you, UTTN wouldn't be where we are today, and we wouldn't be able to shed light on the important activism and co-resistance happening on the ground. So if you'd like to be part of the change, go to patreon.com/thirdnarrative, where you'll get exclusive content from Ibrahim and I and monthly Zoom sessions.
Okay, now that we know a little bit more about you, Nimala, and the beautiful name, now to our second segment, What Do You Do? Where we ask each of our guests, what do they do? What's their work? What are the things they do on the ground? We want to hear from activists about the work that they do and the change that they're trying to create within their own society and to showcase it to the world.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell us about your work?
Yes. I have different hats, so I don't know from which hat I need to start with.
We're on a podcast, so you can tell us whatever you want.
Yeah. Okay, as I said, I have different hats, and I will start with the first hat that related to this place. I am director of the Palestinian Freedom School. It's a project for Palestinian youth where we target Palestinian youth from all over the West Bank, East Jerusalem. We hope to have more people from 48, from age 18 to 26, 7. And those youth are going through this project for 6 months. I call it alternative education, where they learn something different than what they learned already in schools. So the training that we focus on is nonviolent resistance and the values of nonviolence, as well other tools like personal story, talking about or learning about identities and narratives. So in this process, which is not familiar for them, even to talk about themselves and to have this kind of skills, it will give them another way to see the conflict, another way to see the reality, another way to see the other. And to engage them more in nonviolent resistance, because it's important today that our community to engage in this activities that the organization do or other organization can hold in different areas, especially Area C, Jordan Valley, Masafer Yatta, Hebron Hills, and other areas here around us, because all the areas, especially C today, especially after Smotrich, what he said, the annexation of the land. So it's very important to raise the awareness, what we can do to protect the land, protect the families there, how we can support each other. So this is the program about.
And as nonviolent approach as the tool, the mechanism to do so.
Yes, the nonviolent, it's a tool. Yes. And I would like to call it today, I don't know how to call it in English, but
say it in Arabic.
Not militarized action. Because
so civic action,
not civic, it's not non-militarized, because today when we're talking about the concept or the word non-violent, it doesn't mean like it doesn't mean the same that it was meant in the 80s or the 90s. Today is different. Today Palestinians are not using even to be part of the non-violence resistance. They can go to the jail, they can be in prison easily. So today I think I will call it non-militarized resistance. Yeah.
I also don't like the stress of nonviolent. I feel like the system has learned from these people that nonviolent communication sees as heroes, like Gandhi, like Martin Luther King, and so forth, to a point where it understood how to use it against us, where nothing is justified but nonviolent resistance. And anything that is violent in any way, even rhetoric, where if you use quote-unquote extreme, quote-unquote radical language, it's seen as bad, because that's the only way. And these amazing people that are nonviolent, that were labeled as terrorists, that were using protests, that showed the people that you can do things without bearing arms. They made it look weak.
Yeah.
They made it look like that it doesn't really do anything.
Yes.
And now when you want to go to a protest, you need to register it. You need to it diluted it so much.
And I'll add just one point. When we specifically talk about, for instance, nonviolence and Gandhi, for instance, it wasn't an approach of let's make peace. It was civic disobedience.
Yes.
Yes.
It was called and our audience can look it up. It was called the Satyagraha movement at the time, based by Gandhi. And the concept was civic disobedience. And following up on your point, it feels that the system today has equipped itself to deal with this, because back then, when he first started with this initiative, civil disobedience and the expectations is that you resist something is only using arms. When he resisted it not using arms, immediately was translated to nonviolent. Later on it was nonviolent, it was peaceful, it was this, it was that. But now the system has understood this issue, and in order to combat it, the issue has become what is violence.
Mm-hmm.
So now civil disobedience will be called violent.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do that, it's a violence resistance rather than non-violent. They shift the way that the term is placed in order for non-violent things to become perceived as violent. Civil disobedience, that's violence.
That's exactly what I meant. Yes.
Just I got what you're saying, and
No, you put it in a great way.
Maybe especially because it comes from Palestinians.
From non-white people, I think, yes.
Yeah. And also we are not equal in system, Israel, we are not equal in nothing. Like we don't have army, we don't have state, with all, I know that there is a lot of recognition now, but still, we don't have any pillars that we have a state, no borders,
no airport, no seaport, no.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, not to say that non-armed or non-militant resistance doesn't work. It does. When we talk about, and it's not just the power of the white to use non-violent. I mean, the Indian people are not white, and they tackled on the greatest empire at that time, the biggest empire in the world, the British Empire, with civil disobedience, with making action on the ground, with their own, refusing work, taxes, certain things, staying in the streets, refusing to be pushed away from the street in the middle of protests, and using the photos of the soldiers attacking them while they're not doing anything about it to the world. And that actually created a pressure on the British government.
I think I 100% agree. Just I think what she meant by it is that if they were non-Indians, we can see it inside of Israel proper right now. When Jews go ahead and protest, it's fine. It's it goes fine. Maybe now we see police brutality, but normally you wouldn't see as much police brutality. When Palestinians or non-Jewish citizens of Israel protest, how many people are arrested? How much police brutality? Yeah, and it's the difference in the power dynamic. It's if they were Jewish asking for the same thing, doing the same thing, the reaction is different because they see them as violent regardless.
Exactly. So what is violent? Oh, you're saying it must be violent.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most important thing today is the existence of Palestinian, to exist, to be. And to protect our existence is to stay. And this is what you mentioned it, and we call it resilience of the Palestinians. And this is our way to resist. Because of that, I said, okay, today it doesn't work if it's non-violent resistance, non-militarized or non-armed resistance. Just to be as Palestinian, this is your resistance.
Before we ask you about the second, you said you have multiple hats.
Yeah.
Before we ask you about the second hat, the other hats that you wear, I just want to say that the Freedom School of Combatants for Peace, I gave twice workshops for the Palestinians there for 2 cohorts, and I have to say that I taught but I also was taught so much from these kids. I call them kids, but they're like my age. But they are so like, and when anybody around in any context asks me about hope, I mention the Freedom School. It gives me so much hope about how like even within the darkest of circumstances, these young Palestinian men and women have ideas, have dreams, even though they can be pessimistic. Like I walked in and like I came by, like I had a long drive, and I was telling them all that the trains didn't work, and then I saw them look at each other, and I was like, I've never been on a train before. And then I felt stupid because I was like, I'm telling them my problems, and they have like the problems of their own, and they left like Jenin and Nablus or wherever they came from at like 6 a.m. to arrive at 10, and still we had the most amazing conversations. So I think like this, whenever someone asks me about hope, I talk about your program.
Yeah, the youth need the space, safe space today. Yeah. And this is also one of the things that we do. Just a space to come and talk and share your ideas. We don't have it in daily life. At schools, they have curriculum. They need to go for it. Universities, it's not easy just to share your opinion. Even if you are, support nonviolent or armed resistance, you don't have the space to share and to talk about. And what is missing, like today, is the Palestinian dialogue.
100%.
Yeah, we don't have it. We don't have this dialogue. We need a lot of safe spaces for us as Palestinians to talk, to share. I do remember last year we gathered all the alumni from 3 cohorts, and the session or the seminar was about the trauma, to talk about the trauma. And just we noticed how was important to speak about our first hours, our first days of the genocide. Because everything is continuous, nothing is stopped. So we don't have time and space to share and to talk about things that is still stuck. And when the trainer asked each one of us there, just give me one clip or one situation, one story, something that you saw on TV, and men, they were crying because that much they have a lot of things to share. We have a lot of things to share among each other. We didn't have it. We didn't have yet the space and the time to talk about our experience and witnessing what was happened since the 7th of October.
And I think the problem, it's multi-layer issue of Palestinian inner dialogue in multiple fronts. No cross-Palestinian dialogue across the different communities that live different realities. Here we all are, different realities. What do we want? What do we want as Palestinians? Yeah. What do we want the next step?
Who are we?
What do we want? What's the approach we're taking? Because we live in survival mode.
Exactly.
It's about survival.
It's
to live.
What I want also to add that we as Palestinian nation, we are living a collective event, and we didn't have the space for it. Like the genocide, we are witnessing the genocide as collective, and in Gaza individual, but we didn't have the time to connect the collective with the individual. And this is important for healing, for our community, for the next generation. It's important that we have those safe spaces for Palestinians. That will lead me to my second hat. I am a well-being coach. I am a yoga teacher, yoga Samara teacher. I guide meditation, mindfulness meditation. As well, I do women's circle work.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What does that? Can you tell us what that means? What that looks like?
Yeah.
The women's circle specifically.
Yeah. The women's circles is a safe space for women to come and share their wounds. It could be emotional wounds or society wounds or collective wounds for women. And we come for this safe space to share it with tools that I offer for them. Different kind of tools that we use during the women's circle. And mainly it's all about healing, like how to heal. And to create a sisterhood, because something important here to support each other, how to create that.
And when you talk about your work as a coach for wellness and yoga and mindfulness, these are things that we find in different places. I'm specifically curious to hear where do you focus with these things in your work with our community?
Every space I am in, I try to bring it. And I create also a workshop or material. And this is what I do now recently for different groups is self-care during crisis, where I also bring the tools that you mentioned, like yoga, meditation, mindfulness, all the tools that I can help my community. I bring it to these spaces. This workshops, like I tried it in different groups, like for women, for elder women, for youth, and it affect the same effect for everyone. It affect the same. It gives the same effect. Which is self-care. It's a way of healing.
And why is it important to our people specifically? Why did you choose to focus on that? Is it missing?
Of course. It is missing. As I said, we are living in survival mode. Very, very fast. Like the events, like we don't have a time to breathe. Like the events are very quickly. We cannot breathe. So it's okay to have some time to breathe. So this is important. Like learning, I know many people, they have panic attack, for instance, because of the situation. And the moment that they learn how to breathe, it helps them. It helps them. Sometimes just they need guidance, just somebody to say, okay, I'm with you. I hear you. So this is important. Like we need inspiration, because without inspiration, we will not have hope. And once we lose hope, violence will be alternative. Not against the occupation, but against each other. So we need to focus on ourselves, to take care. I will not say focus, but to take care of ourselves in order to think, in order to see the reality in our eyes and to live the reality. Many women today, they are disconnected with their body because of the pain that they have witnessed, the suffer. Every time we are seeing what's happening in Gaza, your heart is closed, and a lot of negative emotion will be created. So it's so important to take care of our self. It's so important, the well-being for each one. It's a bless. It's a bless. And we as community, we need, it's very important that we step from victim mindset or victimhood to responsibility. It's important. And this is the tools. This is one, few tools that we can step together out of this victim and take responsibility for our life. Even, we don't have control, to be honest. Palestinians, they don't have control in everything, but at least we have control in our mind, in our body, and our emotion.
Last time we spoke, I remember you mentioning that you are in the journey of opening a women's healing center here in Beit Jala. I know the circumstances with the closures and the checkpoints and everything that's happening in the occupied West Bank has delayed that process. But can we expect or anticipate an opening anytime soon? What are your goals and aims with this healing center?
Yes, you are right. Actually, I'll be honest in that after the 7th October, I want to run away from this land. Like, I don't want this land. I want to leave, and I try to find some places that I will go, especially to Europe. And after process with friends who already decided like this, that we want to go, all of us, out of this country, I just noticed that I don't want to leave. I want to embrace that pain. Instead of running from that pain, I want to embrace it. And I want to be witness for this suffering. First for myself, for my people, what is happening. So I want to embrace the pain. And I didn't have any idea to do something in this land as well. I just, let's wait. And I think, I'm not sure, but I was one of the people who expect that this war, this genocide will finish soon, but it didn't. In January, I have, this insight that, I want to stay in this land. I will stay. In April, another insight came, I need the space to do the work that I do usually. Which I stopped to do it because I couldn't hold any circle for women since the 7th of October. It was overwhelmed, the situation. So I couldn't hold anything. I was in pain. I was really crying from the situation. And then the insight came in April, and I will stay. I need my space, and I share it with my teacher, my teacher of the women's circle work. And she said, wow, this is great. We'll go for it. We'll help you. And we did a campaign. She did a campaign with other women leaders, women's circle work leaders. And we create a link, and people support this project. And another campaign happened after that to finish the place, fundraise. And that also support me to create this space. And also another friend, he did also another campaign to work in this. And finally, we have the money that we need for this place or this space. And it started in February, and now we are in the last touches of the center. It will not only for the women, It will be for women and men. It's a space for healing, for self-care. It's called Sahwa, which means awareness or awaken. And again, it was an insight, like we are in a awareness or awaken time, especially Palestinian. And I felt like today everyone at least understand, or I will not say understand, but he have, or, you know, people are awake toward Palestinians' rights, Palestinian issue. And it comes from there, like we are in awakening wave, I can say. And today, the awareness is important. And this is how it came, the name, awareness, like awaken, Sahwa. It's in all levels, like spiritual awaken, emotion awaken, situation awaken, I don't know, like it's awaken.
So we'll link everything that you talked about, specifically the Freedom School and the center, Sahwa, in the description. I don't know when this episode is going to be released. Right now we're recording at the end of September, but hopefully by the time that it is released, I really, really hope, because the Palestinian people, honestly, everybody really needs to go on that journey of healing. So we'll link it all down below. But now we're going to move to the third and final segment, which is the What Do You Need, where we ask our guests, after they tell us who they are, what do they do, we ask them basically, how can we help? And what do you need? So I'd love to hear from you, from the two hats that you gave us, as the person who runs the program of the Freedom School and the soon-to-be Sahwa Center. How can somebody listening to this, either us, Ibrahim and I, or somebody listening to this podcast episode, how can we help?
How you can help? You can help in two ways. The first way is to understand, to keep doing your homework, your search, to understand that our lives here is matter. Like we are human beings, and I will connect it to my second question, to my second word that I said, that we are all human beings, and like to support the humanity and not to support groups. This is so important because our life really matter here. This is one, and to raise the awareness about the injustice that is happening here in the land for Palestinians, especially in the West Bank, in Gaza, and East Jerusalem, everywhere. And the third, support, and to talk about it, to share it, to share this podcast or this episode or others who are bringing something that you can listen to. And the third one is financially to support. The Freedom School project is so important and needed, and in this project is very unique. And as I mentioned, it's alternative education that we don't find it everywhere, and it's so important to support the existence, the strength, the hope for the Palestinian youth. And for Sahwa, again, as I said, it will be focused on transformative programs that Palestinians reclaim their strength and to step out of victimhood to responsibility, and to take lead in in this situation. So those are the things that I think we need help for, to keep those spaces open for many, many, many people, that they will get benefit out of it. Yeah, I think that's...
Yeah, that's really crucial. And to our audience, we're going to link, like Amira said before, we're going to link everything in the episode description, as well as any links you'll provide us for fundraising, for donations, for support for Sahwa, for the Freedom School. Definitely the issue of wellness is something that culturally we push ourselves away from understanding how crucial mental health is.
Yeah.
And there's a rise in awareness within our own community about that. And I'm grateful that you're taking this lead in this sense. I can say as a Palestinian man, so many men try to hide from their emotions, try to block them away, and then they burst out.
Also, as activists.
Yeah, as
Definitely
activists.
as activists. We grind our teeth. We don't sleep enough, and wellness is crucial. And I appreciate that you're taking that on yourself to bring that forward and to introduce this to our society as a whole. It's needed and it's missing.
Yeah. Really to focus on the values of humanity. This is something important. That even if you are a man or a woman, we have the right to release and to cry and to bring our pain and to share.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, we cannot heal. We need to face it and to see it.
Thank you so much, Nimala. We really are grateful for the time that you've dedicated for this episode, for the work that you do, for the constant belief in our people, and for pushing for education, for improving our quality of life, and to take lead. Thank you so much for your time and for this episode.
Thank you both. Thank you. Yeah, we all deserve better life, better future. So, inshallah, we will have it soon.
Inshallah, we all deserve better. Our season 1 going back. And again, to our audience, thank you again for being with us, listening to this conversation. Please continue to follow us on Instagram, and listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Continue to follow, support us, go on Patreon, join our Patreon community. Us coming to Beit Jala would not have happened without the support that we have from our amazing community at Patreon, so we're very grateful. So continue to follow us and stay tuned for another episode of UTTN, the podcast.